Have you ever felt like something is missing in your life, but you just can't put your finger on it? Sometimes, the signs of unhappiness are so subtle that we don't even realize we're carrying a heavy emotional burden. Today, let's uncover 9 behaviors that might reveal you're struggling more than you think, and how to turn things around. Sometimes, we don't even realize how unhappy we are. We go through our daily routines, doing what feels normal, while hiding a sadness that runs deep. Unhappiness has a way of sneaking into our lives. It hides behind our daily routines and quietly shapes our actions. Without realizing it, we might be doing things that reflect a deeper inner struggle. But here's the good news. Recognizing these signs is the first step to reclaiming your happiness. Let's dive into 9 things you might be doing without realizing they're linked to unhappiness. And more importantly, how you can break free. Number 1. You're way too hard on yourself. We all have that inner critic. But when you're really unhappy, that critic gets way louder. Being overly critical of yourself is a common sign of unhappiness. You might find yourself constantly fixating on your mistakes and what you lack. You might even catch yourself comparing your life to others and feeling inadequate. This isn't just the occasional negative thought. It's a constant stream of self-criticism. It's tiring and can really mess with your self-esteem and overall happiness. If you're pulling away from people more and more, it might be time to dig into why that's happening. Remember, it's totally okay to ask for help and lean on your friends for support. Everyone has flaws and messes up. It's part of being human. But if you're focused too much on the negatives, maybe step back and reassess. Number 2, you're shutting people out. I used to be a social butterfly, loving to hang out with friends and meet new people. But during a tough time in my life, I noticed I started pulling away. I began saying no to parties, making excuses to dodge friends, and choosing to stay home alone instead of being social. It felt like I built an invisible wall around myself. At first, I shrugged it off as just having a rough day. But when days turned into weeks and then months, I realized it was more than just a phase. It was a sign of my deeper unhappiness. Isolating myself felt like an easy way to avoid the pain I was feeling. But it only made my loneliness and despair worse. If you're finding yourself distancing from others, it might be time to figure out why. Don't hesitate to reach out for help and support. Number 3, you're skipping self-care. Self-care isn't just about pampering yourself. It's about taking care of your basic needs, both physically and mentally. When you're really unhappy, it's easy to overlook these essentials. If you're missing meals, ignoring your hygiene, or pushing your body to the limit without resting, that might signal deeper unhappiness. Taking care of yourself isn't a luxury, it's a must. If you've been neglecting your self-care, it's time to reassess and make some healthier choices. Number 4, you're always drained. You might sleep a full night, but you still wake up feeling exhausted. You're constantly tired, and even simple tasks feel overwhelming. Sound familiar? Feeling tired all the time could be a sneaky sign of deep unhappiness. It's not just physical fatigue, it's also a sense of mental and emotional weariness. It's like carrying a heavy load all the time, draining your energy. This ongoing fatigue can seriously affect your motivation, productivity, and overall quality of life. If you're always tired, despite getting enough sleep, it could be worth looking deeper into the emotional reasons behind it. Number 5, you're easily distracted. Struggling to focus? Do you jump from one task to another without sticking with anything for long? Constant distraction might be a hint of underlying unhappiness. When we're unhappy, our minds are often in chaos. This makes it tough to concentrate, leading to procrastination and low productivity. You might find yourself scrolling mindlessly through social media, binge-watching shows, or getting lost in other activities that temporarily distract you from reality. If it's getting harder to focus, it could be a sign that something deeper is going on. Recognizing this as a potential symptom of unhappiness is the first step towards seeking help and making changes. Number 6. You've lost interest in things you used to love. Remember that hobby that used to make you so happy? That project you could dive into for hours without even realizing how much time had passed? If those things don't light you up anymore, it could mean you're dealing with some hidden unhappiness. Losing interest in stuff you once loved can really hurt. It's like a part of who you are is fading away, leaving you feeling lost and disconnected. It's not just about being bored or wanting to try something new. It's about feeling indifferent towards things that used to bring joy and meaning to your life. If you're feeling this way, it's totally okay. It's also fine to ask for help and start reconnecting with those passions or find new ones. You're not alone in this. Number 7. You're always worrying. There was a time when my mind was just a mess of worries. From the moment I woke up to when I went to bed, I was constantly anxious. I stressed about my job, my relationships, my future, everything. This non-stop worrying really messed with my mental health. It felt like I was trapped in an endless cycle of anxiety and stress. I realized this wasn't normal and was a clear sign of my unhappiness. If you're always worrying about everything, big or small, it could mean you're really unhappy. It's important to notice this pattern and get help to manage those feelings of constant worry and anxiety. Number 8. You're too sensitive. Do you get upset or offended easily? Do you find yourself taking things too personally? If you feel overly sensitive, it might be a sign of underlying unhappiness. When we're not happy, our emotional walls tend to drop. This makes us more vulnerable to negative feelings and reactions. Things you'd normally let slide may suddenly hit you hard. Being this sensitive can strain your relationships, make you feel isolated, and deepen your unhappiness. If this sounds like you, it might be time to look inside and figure out why you're feeling this way. It's okay to seek help and find better ways to handle your emotions. Number 9. You feel stuck. Feeling stuck is a major sign of deep unhappiness. It's that feeling of being in a rut with no hope for change or progress. If you feel like you're just going through the motions, living day by day on autopilot without any direction or purpose, it's time to take a step back and think. This sense of being stuck isn't just a phase. It's a sign that something deeper is wrong. It's a nudge to break free from the chains of unhappiness and seek the support you need to move forward. Remember, feeling stuck isn't where you have to stay. There's always a way out, and there's always hope for brighter days ahead. Unhappiness doesn't have to define you. It's just a chapter in your story, not the whole book. Recognizing these behaviors is a powerful step toward reclaiming your happiness and living a life filled with purpose and joy. Remember, small changes lead to big transformations. Whether it's showing yourself more kindness, reconnecting with loved ones, or simply taking a moment to breathe, every step counts. You're not alone in this journey, and the road to happiness is always within reach. Take a moment today to reflect on what truly matters to you and commit to one small action toward a brighter tomorrow. If this message resonated with you, share your thoughts in the comments. We'd love to hear your story. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications for more empowering content. Together, let's create a community where growth and happiness are possible for everyone. You've got this.